One of my other questions for Women's History Month, what women inspired you?
My mother.
Mine too.
My extraordinary mother.
Mine too.
And never by speeching, by being. And she, and not being celebrated. Everybody needs to be told, nice job, or wow, that's wonderful. When I think back, my mother could do everything, and we lived in a house where my parents were artists, and Daddy was brilliant, and it wasn't accepted. So that's an odd balance. So any money that was made by my mother, and they had worked it out very graciously. But my mother could do everything. She just did more than any mother I ever saw. And boy, she inspired me. I wish she were alive. That's the person that inspired me the most on that level. And I've met amazing women, but they just tend to be real people.
I like some of the ceiling breakers. Barbara Walters. When you think about, because I was a journalist, and I think a lot about journalism and the media and all of that, and I think, like, wow, when you really think about what she did, the first woman anchor.
I know her a little. She's a fantastic woman.
I'm not surprised.
That's a great one to bring up. I worked for a woman for 6 months whom I never saw in a private life, but what the brilliance of what she did hasn't been duplicated, and that's Deanna Vreeland, who was the editor-in-chief of Harper's Bazaar when I got out of college. I had no idea who she was. I did read the magazine, but I didn't, and I thought for a while that was a business I wanted to be in, and nobody I've ever met in that business has come near to the vision that she had, and I'm inspired by that sort of, it's funny when you talk about what sort of women inspire you, they're all different levels. I always was moved because it wasn't my childhood, but as I got older and I went to houses where there was one of those women that just, all the kids wanted to be there, and it was Easter, so we're all going to do Easter eggs, and yes, you can swim, but you got to, towel off and clean up your mess before you leave the table. I mean, just real people living their life with that bottomless amount of energy and love and non-judgment. I mean, I think that's the role of being an example as a woman is almost the most important thing we ever do. They're just dazzling to me. And it's really important. It's a major accomplishment.
And I know I'm not allowed to honor you, but I'm going to honor you anyhow.
No. We're going to talk about what you do for. No, I'm not.
Because I want to say this to you. I feel that our youth being able to be exposed to you at graduation and to be backstage together and to have your courtesy and respect and acknowledgement for their achievement, it's life-changing for them.
Do you really think that? Because,
Yes.
to me, it's just, I feel just the reverse. I'm so moved by them, and my heart is torn when they give up their best friend. Because I know probably a great deal of them need this. They're doing something really important. They're learning life skills. They're so inspiring. And what you've exposed them to, it's why I wish all of them would be exposed to that. And then that would be called, here's how we're going to learn. How do we live? How do we learn human qualities that maybe some of us learned harshly and many of us learned kindly, but by God, we had to learn them. We had to learn manners. We had to learn the concept of you first. At least that's how old I am. It wasn't rare to have that as parenting. And we're so obsessed with money and celebrity that I can't tell you how much I think what you're doing is so enormous not just for the wonderful dogs, but for these kids. It's my favorite thing to think about because the bulk of the population doesn't have that treat.